Entiendo.
Okay.
Great. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Okay, good. We'll just take a shoulder weight, just loosen up the body a little bit. Work through the feet. Okay. A bit rotating with the hips. It's the center, to the front and back. Yeah, side to side. And to the center. Settle the toes down, let the heels strike the floor. Get a little bit wider into rotation. Taking the ends of the jaw, rolling through the center. Backwards. Taking the jaw one side, one leg forward. Keep a nice flexible pulse going into the ground. Change the side. Take the legs out wide to the front. Rest the hip. Rest the jaw at the hip. Lengthen down. Bring the hips below the knees if you can. Just loosen out side to side. Lengthen down one leg. Change the other side. Bringing the knee down, stretch open into the hip. Change in the leg. Just bring both knees down, bring the jaw down. Release the hands down, just work for the fingers, so just gently massaging from the palm to the fingertip. A rolling motion. Look around. Okay, good. And then one for the forearms, you're going to make fists and you're going to roll over the front of the forearm. So place the wrist down and just roll the forearm over the jaw. Right down the back side of the forearm. Good. Okay, stay on the knees if you like. Bring the jaw over the head and just taking the hands rolling over the neck. Just play with facing the head one way or the other. If you find any knots, just work them a little bit if you need them. Good job. Good. Last one, just for the hip here. You're just going to take the jaw in the hand here. Don't put the end of the jaw into the ground, just with the fist. And then place just below the halfway point, just into the hip. And just use the end, the jaw just to pressure into the hip. Soften the hip. Just apply more weight into it. Apply weight, breathe. Release. Apply more weight, breathe, release. Release it, and then use the jaw here just to roll down the thigh. Roll down the front of the thigh, you can roll down the inside, you can roll a little bit down the outside with it. Just roll that contact point down the thigh. Yeah, if you find these soft spots, just massage them a little bit more. Yes. Good, and then we'll go to the hip. So spine the other side. Pressure in, breathe, release. And then roll it down the thigh. Okay, good. And then just one for the knees. Just be careful with this one, but place it just below the knee, just at the point of the knee crease, and then just sit into it gently. If you can sit all the way back into it comfortably, just sit into it. Bring the butt to the heels and just sit onto the jaw. If you can't, just hold it where it feels comfortable. Settle. If you can, just settle into it. Breathe, release. Settle into it a little bit more. And nice and slowly release it. Bring yourself up and just roll the jaw down the calf. Good. Okay, great. Nice and slowly coming up. We'll just do the last one for the feet. So just placing the jaw on the ground. Just work with one foot at a time. Just rolling over heel to toe. Most of the pressure going in on the forward roll. You can also roll back as well. Most of the weight's going through from a forward position.
Power off.
Sorry.
Power on. Good. I like that. That's good. Power on. So as you do this, play with splaying the feet as you go into it. You're trying to splay the toes away from each other. Open the inside of the foot. Great, and then try the other foot. And roll the toe to heel. Release the foot. And again, if you feel comfortable, just apply a little bit more pressure into it. Yeah. There we go.
The beginning, you cannot push. You cannot put
Not so much
pressure on it, isn't it?
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, and if you feel it, just pull a little bit of weight back in the hip as well. And if you feel you can, it's a little bit more into it. Okay, and then just find one point, don't roll it, just find one point which feels a little bit of pressure and just sit into it again. So just again play with kind of opening the toes out, gripping the toes, spreading them away, just settle into it a little bit. And release it, find another point, maybe a bit lower down or a bit higher. Find it, sit into it, and just settle the weight into it. And let the foot release as much as you can. And then the last one, just work with a kind of hammy posture, mostly focusing on the front foot and just playing with keeping that the back foot kind of stabilizes the jaw, and then just play with kind of rolling the ankle on the front foot over. You can also play here with the toes, kind of, especially the big toe and second toe, kind of working to grip. But you can work down all the other toes as well if you like, just to massage open out the toes a little bit. Find any sore points, you can either avoid them or go into them. Better to go into them. Great. And then we'll work the other side for the other foot. Just kind of stabilize the jaw a little bit for the other foot. Work the toes. Work the ankle a little bit. Just play with rolling over it. Rolling through the toes. Great, and last one, just very lightly, just roll out the foot again that way. Super light, hardly any weight in it. Just shearing with the foot. Great, and the other foot. Ooh, ouch, there we go, don't do that. Don't break your toe.
Be careful with the toes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we'll do a little bit, just of a few squatting positions. The first one, just find a neutral position with the hip kind of shoulder width. Press the jaw into the back. So you want, just feel 3 points of contact. You've got the back of the head, the thoracic spine at the back, and the tailbone. And just play with sitting down into it whilst keeping those 3 points. You can incline the body forward, or you can keep it kind of up straight, but just play with this, keeping that point. You can either just press the jaw from the back or from below, or you can have one hand on top and you can alternate the hand or whatever, but just play with gently pressing into that and just gently keeping those 3 contact points. And especially watching for the main ones, the kind of head wanting to separate. Maybe the butt starts to stick out and I lose the contact with the upper spine. So just allow yourself to settle into it. Go as low as you can kind of comfortably, and just play with the legs as well, the positions of the legs. You can play with the feet, the heels coming off the ground as well, but just play with keeping those 3 contact points as you hinge and squat. Try. That's it. Yeah.
Are you holding the bottom one? So it's the back of the head, the thoracic spine, and then the coccyx?
Yeah, the coccyx, just a little bit of pressure there. So I imagine you could do this also with a wall as well. So if you kind of press up onto a wall or fall into it, and then just kind of drop into the wall basically. So I kind of keep those three points. And walls are really good because I can also play with keeping the whole spine kind of straight. But I want, in this case, a little bit of flexion in the lumbar spine. The other thing you can do with this also, I like functional movements as well. So I think about squatting, I think about picking something up, or think about kind of picking something up, leaning into something. So natural movements of the spine would kind of go, like opening a drawer or something like this. And just again, trying to maintain a, not like I'm pushing the jaw in, and not like I'm trying to press the body back. I don't really want to create any excess tension, but I just want to notice where there's a kind of separation now, like pulling, and useful to do something that's kind of active as well, picking up, can be something light. Yeah, picking up, exactly, right, picking up a cup. And then loosen the head, right, do that.
Yeah.
This is a good one when you're reading a WhatsApp chat group and sit on the phone and scroll through blah 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 blah. Kind of maintain the contact for the spine as I do it.
Actually,
And then just do the same, just get into a low kind of squat position, kind of comfortable, and just play with those 3 points again, and play with, in this case, coming down, sitting down, and just watch the jaw obviously in the ground. So you might want to keep the jaw a little bit higher, just so it's kind of sitting in line with its elbow, and just play with kind of coming in and out to the ground. Again, nice, make it nice and easy. Not too much stress. And again, we're kind of classic positions. You're looking at kneeling positions, say that cross-legged positions, if you like. And if you put the hand on top gets a bit tight, just switch the hand over. Just play with kind of coming in and out to the ground, nice and simple.
so why are we doing this?
Why are you doing this? It's to bring awareness to the back. There's a real tendency when I do sport work to do this. Where is my back?
Where is my back? Yeah.
Where is my back? What is it doing?
Yeah.
What is
Exactly.
it doing?
I'm gonna be like Roy. What's the point?
What's the point?
The point is to be aware.
Right. The point is, what am I doing?
Apart from the fact the neighbors see what I'm doing, I look like a complete nincompoop. But never mind.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares, man?
I feel the same. My neighbor is just look at me.
Oh, here we go. Maybe. I think they were watching Netflix or something, so no problem. Don't be distracted.
Yeah, actually, I feel bad for him because he is quite fat and big and he cannot move. So
do the same thing now, but keep that awareness in the back of the back. Now play with extending away with the arms. So you can play different kind of motions with it. Obviously, nice simple ones. Just have both arms extended, and just again play with kind of coming down into squat positions, coming down to seated positions. Just keeping the arms a little bit extended away. One arm extended, 2 arms extended, different positions. Also playing with kind of rotation work. And yeah, you can think about also functional kind of things as well, or functional kind of considerations, but really the main thing is just keep that awareness of the back. Start to bring in a little bit of extension work to the body. Yes. So. Good. Great. Now do it with a little bit of rotating with the jaw. So play with the kind of figure of 8 pattern. Play with both ways and play with different ways to do it. Just get into a few kind of motions with it, and then we'll start to go to the ground with it, but just get into just rolling the jaw around. Nice, stable in the center. And keep that sense of awareness down the spine. Back. Let's play with different ways to manipulate the jaw around the center line. Yeah. And then as you do it, just start to again, do this slowly, slow enough that so you don't kind of hit the ground also. kind of hit the knees as you go down, but play with kind of coming down, coming out of the ground, and make the transition as smooth and as kind of casual as you can. So it shouldn't feel like a lot of effort. Again, play with different ways to move the jo. Some ways will be easier than others. Mobilize around the back as well. Mobilize a little bit on the ground. A bit of light shiko, but nothing too strenuous for the knee. And as you're doing it, just keep bringing yourself back to the spine. What is the spine doing? What is the alignment down the spine? And kind of losing that length at any point in time. Nice. Yeah, great.
Well, Michael, even I love those exercises. I need to go, otherwise I'm gonna be late. I don't want it. But, anyway, they made like 8:30, and I need to walk over there. So.
What is it now? 7:30. It's 7:30 now. Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Have a good weekend.
Enjoy yourself. Have fun.
Yes, see you next week.
Fun.
Oh, next week I will be in Menorca. I will be in Menorca on Wednesday. So
Okay.
I think I get here at 5 o'clock, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it. If the ferry, it depends on the ferry.
Yeah.
If not, I'll see you next Friday.
Okay, cool. We'll see you Friday anyway. Okay, great. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
See you soon.
Yes, bye-bye.
Okay, let's see. Okay, check out this video soon. I'll show you this. This is a good one. Am I sharing this? Am I sharing it? No way. That one.
Yeah,
Can you see this?
Yeah.
This is a great video. Watch this. I won't say anything. I've got nothing to say about this. There we go.
Jeez.
So this is Noro Center. So he was one of the guys who was a kind of pioneer in Europe in the early days. He was in France and actually came to England quite a bit in the early times. But anyway, nice. But really great for what I would say is like someone that can reduce their hips and someone that's very good at getting low, going to the ground and being able to come up with like no resistance whatsoever with the ground. The transitions are just smooth. So that's a great video. Apart from anything else, it looks great.
It looks great, yeah. It's like, oh.
Looks great. It's like a kind of human animal, totally. Let's look at the 13 Yokata. We were doing a little bit this morning. So
Okay.
We'll carry on a little bit with it. We'll do the same, what we were looking at this morning, the same kind of set. Where's this from? So we'll do the first 4. So just into going the ski, the hayagaishi, roll up into the block, and into the ski. back. Nice and calm. And ski. 𝘰𝘰𝘠𝘪𝘏. Into the block. The ski. Great, keep it going. Here we go.
Is that number 3? Is that number 3 the same feeling as number 8 for 13, the 31 kata? Is that like the same feeling from 1 to 2?
It's similar. Obviously, that I mean, one thing that's different is the hand position. I mean, if you look at very basic, like the hand position is slightly different, and in a way that the aim is a little bit different, because what I'm looking to do in the 31, that position in a way is to facilitate this movement to go into the center line with the step. So right. I'm going to triangulate the body in a way where I'm on the block this way, and then I've got the ability to transition into the strike this way. Now in this case, what I'm looking to do is actually catch underneath the weapon.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking to get underneath it, and I'm looking to actually have the body wedged directly on the center. I can just go straight in. So the aim's a little bit different. It's got the same general fit in that I want to kind of roll underneath the weapon.
Yeah.
So this feeling whether I'm in that position and I kind of roll up underneath this way, or whether I'm in this case this position and I roll up underneath. So it's got that same kind of quality where I'm looking to roll the joint system underneath it.
Okay.
That way.
Can you do the 1 to 4, but standing on the line, like on your yoga mat?
Like this way, I do here.
Where is it? No, the one on the, I can, okay, I can see that now. That's probably easier for me to see it. Yeah.
So I go here, I go 1, here.
Yeah.
2, here. And then 3, I wedge the left foot back and I find the line with this foot.
Okay.
And I'm kind of rolled underneath, and then here I let the body track onto the line.
Back to the center. Okay.
So that feeling in that movement. Sometimes when we do the partner work with this, sometimes we miss that portion out, or we miss the strike out, or sometimes we actually add it. But in the case where I added, I'm looking to basically catch underneath, roll underneath, and wedge straight back onto the line. So what's happened in this case, the person they're attacking is coming in with the ski.
Okay.
The jaw gets diverted up, and then it leaves this hole basically in the body. So this happens, and then straight away as they're here, and basically attacking onto the body.
Okay.
So the idea later with that is to basically wedge through the line, be there right underneath it that way. So that's the kind of setup. But in the Kihon, we create a gap in there, obviously.
I used to do this almost every morning. I put like my slippers or like a stick.
Yeah, and you can do that, right? Have some kind of, you need some kind of.
And I've not done that for ages, but I'm going to do it now, because 13 is not, it's not a series that I'm familiar with.
Right.
So all right.
It's useful to have. Look at the video.
And you go 2, just like the off the line. 3.
Got.
And then 4 back to center. Okay.
see. So this is the best video we've got actually of it. So this is super clear. And also you've got the crosshairs on it. So let's see. You've got that coming off the front, like wedging off the left side. You've got that 𝘰𝘠𝘢𝘫 now, which goes to this, you know, so you've got like the quarters in the you've got the crosshair. The 𝘰𝘠𝘢𝘫 is now going to go to the front right quarter.
Oh, okay.
That's when you're wedging back, so that left foot goes back onto that left back quarter, and then the front foot, the right foot is wedged onto the line in front. And then the next move, the ski, is to drive straight back down onto the line. That way.
Okay.
One more time. So it goes left side, right front, and then back. Got that.
Okay.
So that's the reference for it. So yeah, it's useful to have a sense like there's a crosshair, easy crosshair, one to the front, off to the right side front, and then wedging back, and then straight back down the line.
The right foot for number 3 is actually on the line, isn't it?
Yeah. So the right foot basically finds that, because what I'm looking for is wedge and then be straight back onto it. So in a way, it's a kind of, this in a way is one of the, like what we were doing on Wednesday night, this idea with the weapon work, like you've got two choices. You can leave the line and wedge off it. You can wedge yourself on the line and cut through. And in the case with the 𝘗, because I have the ability to really block and roll with it and use the 𝘗 to roll through, I can do this special one, which is like just a tiny wedge, where I kind of really wedge the body. So in a sense, this really is wedging, because when I go off the line, I'm not really wedging. I'm wedging in terms of the body, but I'm actually just leaving the line. So that's the two that I do with the Bokken. I go off the line, or I wedge through the line. This one. And the third one with the 𝘗, that is a kind of specialty with the 𝘗, is this idea of like wedging just off the line, and it's like a very small movement. So it's the stuff we do when we do this kind of rollback block. So because I have the 𝘗 and I have the ability to kind of roll block with it, I can do these kind of wedging block patterns with it, and I don't need to necessarily leave the line to do it.
Okay.
Just this one, this kind of wedging.
So it's quite a tight. It's quite a tight staying. I was going to say it's quite a tight going away from the line. Yeah, as you say, it's just a wedge. It's not. Yeah. It's not a.
Let's just think of a wedge. It's like think of like a door wedge. It's like it's very fine towards the end, and I'm using the fine point in this case is like the front foot and the front hip. So it's got this kind of fine line quality through the 𝘗. And then I'm kind of rolling back underneath it with the whole body. So the thin end of the wedge is the front of the body, and the back end's the fat end of the wedge, basically. You got a fat end and a thin end of the wedge.
Okay.
And that's what you do with the Bokken when you do cut through on the line. But I'm driving through the line. I'm not losing the line at all. But I can do this with the 𝘗 because I can use it to really block in this case, in a very kind of spiraling way. And the Bokken works a little bit more simpler in a sense.
It feels that just. I'm okay with that side. It's not the same. Is it the same as going to the other side? It just feels a bit odd, maybe because I don't do it enough with this side.
Okay, good. So if you think of this also like a wave, my favorite design, think of this like this roll pattern. It starts here and it rolls up, and that the fine points, like the fingers of the wave. This is why I like this design, because it's anthropomorphic. Think of the fingers of the wave, right? They're like, I mean, these are the hands in this movement. So think about this wave movement, like play with this both sides, left and right, but play with the idea that it's like this kind of roll up, and then the wrist is really like this kind of fingers of the wave, the tip of the wave. So it's going to kind of roll through there, and that's going to do a lot of the movement as well. And that's going to take a lot of the movement through to the end, but it's very mobile, and it's a winding motion. That's what's going to give me the kind of it's like a tensile quality through the body, right? Because if I just lift the jaw up, play with this, it's like if the wrist is kind of not doing anything, not mobilizing, and I just lift it, there's nothing really happens. There's no real energy that passes through the jaw, no real weight, no real motion, no real pressure. But if I do it in a sense that I can wind through the joint system, and drop at the same time, then there's weight being compressed down, and there's an expression of movement out through the tip of the weapon. So imagine like the jaw's like I'm trying to like wind the jaw up, basically, like I'm trying to wind it up. So imagine it's like imagine all the bamboo fibers in it, and I'm trying to like wind. I'm trying to wind them up, bring some life into them. So I imagine like these kind of motions. So again, if I do this, and I do this, nothing happens here.
Yeah.
Nothing happens because nothing happens here to make it happen, right? So if I want something to happen here, I need something to happen here. So something needs to happen, in this case, in this area. But the motivation for it comes from here. And the ground is going to aid it, because if I'm ungrounded as I do that, it twists all the structure out, so everything becomes kind of loose. So I really need the ground underneath, really below me, and I really need the sense that I can then kind of wind and roll with it. But it's got this kind of quality to it, and it needs to have that. And I'm trying to create, in a sense, like a kind of tensioning through the body, through the weapon, then I can kind of roll and release it with the jaw.
What's happening with your right hand?
The right eye is in this case, it's just there to assist, basically. So it's allowing that movement to kind of happen. I'm a little bit tensioning with it, but I'm not doing anything else with it, and I'm not trying to really counter it in the sense, but it's just there as a kind of fulcrum, basically, in this case. So, and it's basically there, and what you can also play with is keep that hand open and just play kind of rolling through it.
Oh, that's easy.
Really doing that, then the jaw will really wind through that kind of tissue. And I don't need too much weight in there, because if I've got the right position, the structure of the arm itself will take the weight, not the kind of grip. So sometimes people go a bit crazy about the hands need to always be gripping the jaw, and they need to be fully sealed onto the weapon, because if I don't, then the jaw is going to kind of slip out. But I don't really always need that, because think about the pressure that's being exerted on the jaw is here and basically down into the body, and that pressure is supported by the hand, basically, not by the fingers. So the fingers are there just to seal onto the jaw, but they're not. I'm not trying to grip into it with a. I'm not trying to grip. I'm not trying to cling onto the jaw, basically.
Is that too low?
Yeah, it's there on both sides. Okay, good. So let's go a little bit further in the kata. We'll go to the hasso portion. So do those first 4 the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then release into the hasso. 5 and then 6. And yeah, just do to that. Good to go to the striking part. It's 2, 3, 4,
the 5 to 6, 4, 5, 6. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
That's it.
How am I finishing it here? Just the hand first.
Yeah, in this, if you can come up to the full position. So you can come up. So if I go into my knee and do it, and basically I'll finish the kata in that position.
Okay.
So I'll in the kata form I go to that position, the full hassa, and then release the hip and then find the grip.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm in that position. Can't really do it. But in this case, if I got the low suyan, I'll basically go to that position, go to there. And then it's just at the side of the body, and then again I refine the center line, draw back through it.
Okay, so let's see. So
If I can, or if you
that's
can.
a 4. 4. Well, ah. Can I see how you do that again?
Yeah. Just show that. I'll put the video on because it's also really clear. So
Okay.
form. Let's see. Go to yeah. Let's see. 4. The key thing here is the footwork. So just as you release into that, and the body's really traveling backwards that way. So you're blocking and setting up the hasso for the strike, which comes in now.
What did you mean about that? The body's traveling backwards?
Watch the position of the body now in 5, and then watch it as it finishes in 6. Yeah. So it's drawn right back into the in terms of the crosshair. It's right back, and then the second cut is there in. So you're looking to basically, I'm looking to block and create space in the movement. So the people make the one mistake people a lot of the times make with this is they from 4, 5 is this, and then this, it becomes like that kind of movement. But what I'm looking to do is connect into the ski. So someone's behind me, they're thrusting to the body here, to the rib, to the side of the rib, or to the back here. It depends on the partner form, but let's say they're thrusting to the side of the rib here. What I'm looking to do is roll the body through, connect with that, and then create space this way. And then as they attack again, I'm cutting onto the head. I'm striking onto the head that way. So it's actually 2 moves in a sense. So it's a block, and then it's a drawback into the upper position, into the command. And then you've got a second strike in the partner form, which comes onto the body again. I roll past it and I strike onto the body. And that's a classic case of leaving the line, basically, in the case of the strike. So think of that as just it's connecting to the block and then making space, basically, with the body. Yeah, I need kind of weight in the body to do that.
I never realized that you're actually going, the body, as you said, the body is actually moving back.
Yeah.
I thought it was almost at the same spot.
Yeah, right. So I need to do that to create space, basically, because if I don't, basically place on top of the person.
Yeah.
And when they strike next, they'll basically be right on top of me. So
Okay. Now, in terms of concept, that's actually much easier for me to imagine. That's what we're doing. So like, okay, come on. Here, and then it's the block there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's coming back. Yeah. And then
it's actually it's a really common move we make. I mean, it's just in terms of like, so if you think of someone coming into the body, it's like I'm connecting with it, and then I'm making space with the body. So I'm connecting with the strike, and then I'm making space. In that case, will be to draw the person out of the balance.
Right.
It's to protect me and open up the space so that I'm not in range again. So I'm out of range of the attack, and they basically need to refine me again for the next attack. Because if I don't do that, they basically thrust. I'm still there, bam, and go straight back onto the body. Right? So even if I don't protect myself, so I mean, lots of people do the hustle like this, and it's going around like this. This is totally useless. So I need to think really, always go back to the function and actually things like space and distance in terms of this, even when it's a solo work, because it's really important how I'm using the body. So I think first of all, the person's behind me, I'm going all the way around, connecting with that, and then rolling up with it this way, and then I'm rolling the body in this way. So the main quality, this is kind of surging after the thing. So there's the roll connect, there's the making space back, and then there's the surging in.
Oh, that surge in. Okay.
We've got these three qualities of body work. That's really what we're training in a sense. If you
Can we not have a 5.5? As in when you're connecting.
Yeah. Well, you can. You just pause. I mean, I just pause that point.
Just pause. Yeah.
I know like I'm doing this that I've connected. The problem, the reason you can't really stop there is because it's a mobile position. It's not a true. It can't be a true pause because I'm really mobile at that point. So if you watch my feet as I do that, I can pause in that point, but I'm really working to hold the body up because I'm really in a mobile position, and the heels are basically off the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can slow it down. It becomes like a 5, but you can't do like a 5A, 5B. But you could split it up. I mean, in a sense, but there's like natural. I would say there's natural stopping points and there's a natural stopping point.
So when you're doing that 5.5 or the 5, when you're doing that 5.5, when you're connected, when 3, 4, okay. When you're connecting here, are your feet actually both planted? I mean, are your feet on the ground, or because they looked a little bit?
They're on the ground, but they're not planted. They're not
planted.
That's what I mean. But it's not a natural settling place for me.
Oh, okay.
Feet on the ground, or even I don't even have one foot really planted in this case.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I'm in that motion, I'm here, and I'm in this movement. Why they're not planted? That I need them both to be able to mobilize. To then come, to mobilize, move. One's planted, then that, and then that, and then that. It becomes very awkward. Yeah. So it's a complex compression pattern because it's really a kind of dynamic one. So all the way through from this point, the feet are basically trying to settle into the ground without actually being fully, they're not fully settled. Which is why it's very easy to lose the ground contact. And especially if I go like above the ground as I'm doing it, it's impossible to do it. And if I do the opposite and I try and stick into the ground, it becomes resistant to the movement. I'm trying to resist the movement because halfway through I'm trying to plant the body in the ground, and it's not the time to plant the body, right? No, okay. There's a time to plant the body and a time to not plant the body. So this is not when I'm in movement, it's not the time to stop, right? So I'm in movement, I need to keep going. Now stop. Now move. Now stop. Right? I need to know when to stop it. I need to know when to carry on. That's I need to know when to carry on. And I can slow that down, but I can't stop it from that point. And I'm really kind of committed into the
yeah. Because my right leg is already moving back. So it's like
let's see.
Okay, I think I will just practice that bit, Michael.
We'll just finish with this. We've got like 2 minutes or so. Just play with.
Oh, okay.
Just play with this, just without the Joe, just this footwork. So there's lots of techniques where this is very similar to. One of them is like an 𝘰𝘰𝘦𝘴, especially in terms of this kind of surging motion. So just play this. You can be a little shorter with the body work, actually. Think about rolling through, opening it out, rolling through, opening this out. It's this kind of hasso motion, and then rolling through with the arm. And then just find yourself back, right side. You could do this both sides, but we'll just stick with the right for now. So just kind of roll through, open out at the top, and then surge through with the hip. You're just looking for one kind of smooth motion, especially in the rotation. Rolling in. Extension. It's just various levels of extension, up from the body, away from the body, closing into the body, but it's different, just all extension work actually, and all grounding work. Yeah.
From here to here, from the hustle to that surging in is okay. You know, it's not great, it's okay. It's that from fall to this that I'm felt.
Yeah. It's again like this wave thing, this kind of relationship to the ground. So I again, this thing we were talking about before the other week, like impulse and response basically. So I have an impulse to the ground, I have a response to it. Now, if I'm in a position where I'm out of balance, that response goes into the ground, it sticks there. Or I don't do it, and I just kind of, I'm fine and I'm just on the ground basically. I'm just on the ground, but I actually want to have the sense that I'm actually entering the ground, receiving that impulse and using it. So imagine you're on a trampoline, I kind of roll the body in, I press the weight in, I get a kind of spring out, and I let the body receive it. So I roll in and spring out of it. I can make that kind of big. Feel the skeleton, the muscles release to the top of the head and take it away. And then kind of follow it. Or problems, the arms taking over and tensing up and all these kind of things. Go back to the spine. This is the spine.
I've got to retrain my right leg not to pull back as soon as I face the other way.
Okay, last one. Do with the jokes. This last. I've got no time, but 20 seconds. Just play this. Put the joke right to the ball at the back, and just play with this. You just roll in. Just play with moving in. So roll in, and allow that gentle pressure in the jaw, in the lower back. Just use it. Just use it as feedback. And just feel what's kind of happening there with the hip, with the extension, and especially in the kind of opening and closing of the hip as you do it. So that will bring an awareness also not only to the lower back, also to the hips as you do it. So the opening and closing of the hips as you do it. The rotation, the relationship to the ground, and the kind of the seat basically, how the pelvis is sitting into the ground.
Yeah, it's actually really nice to do.
And it's a nice one to do, yeah, just kind of play with it. And I can release, and I can also, in this case, the arms can be tensioned, but I can also have the sense that I'm going to just release them. And they have no choice, they have to go with the hip. They can't take over the movement. And if they try and take over, I lose the jaw. So they just don't have a choice. I like that these exercises, arms don't have a choice. They just have to follow, like a scarecrow. So I can give up the idea that the arms need to do anything at all. They just follow, just follow, just follow. That's it. Okay, great. I need to go. Very good.
Bye. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Very good. Great. Domo arigatou gozaimashita.
Domo arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you. Enjoy your meeting.
Good.
Catch you sometime over the weekend.
Bye.